Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Duel Archives. Here we are in episode 12. If you guys haven't seen the previous episode, I'll leave a link to it up in the top right for you guys to check out. It was Burning Abyss versus Sky Striker 2018 YCS semifinals. It was a very, very satisfying match to watch. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it. And in the beginning of that episode, I talked briefly about how I wanted to see if I could find some Block Dragon Burning Abyss feature matches to go over on a future episode. I couldn't find any. The only matches that I could find were feature matches that I've uploaded, and we're not obviously going to go over those. I couldn't find any like top cut matches from like any YCSs or whatever. Understandably so. Like the deck wasn't super popular. Didn't always do super well at events, even though I had a ton of successes at locals, but you know, understandably so. So I think I settled for like the next best thing. We're going to be looking at the ARG Atlanta Grand Finals. Alexander Lisgate, aka the one and only based Loli, going against Josh Camp in his BA versus Qliphort. This was uploaded on December 15th, 2014. Post new challengers. If you guys want to see the original video, like always, I'll leave a link to it in the description. But yeah, base Loli, one of the greatest players of all time, so this is going to be a treat. And these decks were two huge rivals at the time. Two absolutely huge rivals. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. The VOD starts like a little late. It's not like right at the beginning, so Alex has already done some plays. Luckily, nothing too crazy, just Dante mill 3 set to pass turn. And these two decks were like butting heads constantly, but Burning Abyss I think was always revered as the favorite, mainly because of a card called Fire Lake, which basically you tributed 2 BAs or sent 2 BAs from your field and then destroyed 3 cards on the field. And that would clear their scales in a back row or a floodgate, which is just like so insanely oppressive, so insanely good. It was such a good counter to any pendulum strategy. So we're gonna see Josh go ahead and go upstart into set 4 and then activate the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon end phase search of the Scout. We're going to see base Loli start with the Dante milling 3. It's a cow cab, spins a back row back to the hand. Really, really good card for this matchup as well, because the Qli deck did play a lot of back row, kind of similar to the BA deck, which would actually start to move away from very trap heavy into a deck that I loved playing, which is considered to be called Big BA, where you played a ton of BA names. Very little traps, 3 Fire Lake at most, and then maybe like a discard trap or 2, like Karma Cut or Wing Blast. And then like, you know, Enemy Controller, Allure. You'd also be playing cards like Beginning of the End, Chaos cards, Rank Up Magic, Astral Force. Like, the deck evolved quite a bit, or even Mass Change the Second. So that was my favorite variant of the deck to play. I never really played Perfect Vision BA. But I preferred much more the just like the Monster Mash BA strategy. We're seeing him make a second Dante. Seer's going to attempt to revive a Cow Cab. It's going to be met with an emptiness. Seeming a little late on the emptiness there, but he's going to go ahead and attempt to go battle phase and swing in for 25 and 25. But he's going to activate a skill drain. He'll pay 1,000 there. So lots of fun happening over on the right side of the table here. This is one of the reasons why Fire Lake was so good. If he had Fire Lake right now, he could clear both scales, the skill drain, and the emptiness would go with it. Like, you just plus into the sun. It's like not even fair. Like, it's like, I don't want to say it's one-sided, but like it's pretty close to one-sided. Like, Qliphort has tons of really powerful plays. You have towers, you have stealth plays, like the Trampolinks combo with Scout, which I think Josh actually has in hand. And the reason why that play is cool is because Trampolinks was a pendulum scale that said anytime you pendulum summon, you could target another card, the other card in your other scale, and return it to your hand. And that was really good because you could like play Scout, pay 8, search, pendulum, Trampolinks would bounce the Scout back, play Scout again, pay 8, search. Insane interaction. I remember it was only played in very, very early builds of Qliphort, and then it was pretty much cut immediately once Monolith came out, if I'm correct. Anybody that actually played Qliphort in depth in that time period is more than welcome to correct me. Or we're going to see him set another. Josh is going to set one. And also, this was at a time where Phoenix Wing Blast is going to be very, very good here. Actually, not good enough because it's not sending a card to the grave. So, Vanities and Skill Drain are going to stay. And Calcap's going to hit the other one. And now he is going to Fire Lake, take care of the rest. Yeah. Again, you can see why that's a really, really solid interaction there. Now, you don't really need... and they put a picture of Fire Lake up on the screen for those that don't know what it does. But, like, I feel like it's one of those situations where if you're... Unless he's doing this end phase here, I understand why he did this. I feel like you 100% end phase those two back rows so you can just, like... plus into the sun and then draw for turn and just try to go for game because he is at 5,000. He did take 2,000 from 2 Dantes, 1,000 from Skill Drain, and it looks like he's just going to go ahead and start searching here. He's getting 2 Dantes and I believe a Graph, and Graph is going to summon Rubik, which is now going to give him access to Virgil, which is a great... Yeah, so that is just going to be an end phase Fire Lake, which is insane. His own vanities keeping him off of Pendulum summoning. Compulse bouncing back his own BA, summon Rubik, normal Seer. We're going to see him synchro 6 into a Virgil. I think hands down probably still one of my favorite Burning Abyss monsters. Such a beautiful looking card, and its effect is insane. And this is just going to be 5k exact. Dante, detach, mill 3, and if he doesn't have a Nibiru, which he definitely doesn't, that is going to be game. So, yeah. Let that just prove why Fire Lake is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I don't know if I think I've talked about this on my stream many months ago, but there's a video of me playing Burning Abyss around this time. And I'm playing against a friend of mine who actually uploaded the video onto their channel. And I go back and watch it every now and then just because it's nice to like go back and like relive, you know, that format. Even like the place we were playing the tournament in, which we don't play at anymore. It was one of my favorite places to have locals at. So just lots of really good memories. And I savagely top deck tour guide 2 games in a row. And even in that video, if anybody can find it, it's me. They put my name in the title of the video. So if anybody can find it, feel free to go look for it and also link it down in the comments because I struggle to find it from time to time. But it is a video of me playing feature match on a different channel. And it was like one of my favorite decks of all time, one of my favorite formats of all time. But enough of me ranting about the good old days, you know, back in the day. Let's go ahead and get into game 2 as these guys finish side decking. And hoping to see Josh get to do something here. I want to see some Qliphort plays. This is a deck that I actually wanted to play for a long time, but I never got my hands on the cards because the deck was very, very expensive. So Josh is going to start with the set 2, normally Helix, I believe. That might be Carrier. And then we're going to see the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon end phase to go ahead and add Scout. Basically like Skarm for the Qliphort strategy. Remember, it came Alti in Duelist Alliance. Beautiful card. Revolutionary for its time. Base Loli is going to start with the Allure. Drawing 2. Banishing the Rubik. Get that card advantage. Gotta love to see it. Easy board to break right here. Easy board to break. It might, I mean, unless he's got Vanity Skill Drain, right? We might be having lots of fun at that point. I don't know. We'll see. He's got Tour Guide in hand. How does he want to start this board? Problem with normaling Tour Guide is it's very susceptible to Vanity's Emptiness, and it will leave you with a non-Burning Abyss on field. This is not good. You don't want to get stuck with a non-BA in field because Fiendish Rhino Warrior is not a card yet. And it's not a card we'll have access to for quite some time. And okay, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I was going to say, does he have... But Skill Drain is at 3 right now, for those that don't know. Skill Drain is actually still at 3. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror is going to force out a Mystical Space Typhoon from Alex. And he's going to chain the skill drain in response since he just burned that spell trap tour guide, not resolving. But skill drain is actually going to be helpful for both players here because that'll make it so no BAs will die when they hit the field. Now that tour guide's there. There's Fairy Wind, an incredible side deck card against the Qliphort strategy. And each player is going to take, I think, 300 for every face-up trap card, spell or trap card in the field that gets destroyed by it. So I think they're both going to take 600 apiece. So Scout is going to pay 8, and I think in response he'll chain. Scout's no longer in its pendulum scale to be able to resolve, so no search there. I don't know if I got a chance to say it, but this was a time before pendulum scales had their own dedicated zone. So they just kind of went wherever you wanted them to go. They did go to the face-up extra deck, but when you play the cards themselves, they just kind of could put them wherever you wanted. So we'll see him tribute summon for another Qliphort, run over the tour guide, and now we're going to see him start his turn by flipping up a burial, which is really good. It's going to go ahead and send the Graph. Graph's going to summon out Skarm, secure that end phase add, keep up the pace with the Qliphort strategy. He doesn't have Scout anymore, which is really good, and he has a very, very low on card advantage. So we're going to see him summon out Rubik, and he's probably going to go for Virgil, and he's going to go ahead and read. I know Carrier and Helix, I think they get effects when they're tributed. I think Carrier like pops a card, and Helix like pops a back row or something. I can't remember exactly, but he's going to use Virgil. Put it up on the screen there. It's less work for me. Virgil's going to discard a Graph. Graph is going to spin back that Qliphort, and he's going to set a back row and phase Skarm for tour guide. Not for tour guide, going for Seer here instead. Interesting. I can see why, though. I'm going to go ahead and see him pass turn. We'll see what Josh is going to be able to do. Very, very low on card advantage. He does have Sacrifice. And he's also got Shell, which, keep in mind, you could normal summon pretty much all of the Qliphort monsters without tributing, but their attack gets decreased. Qliphort Shell, I believe, boosts up the monster that it's equipped to. And if it were to be destroyed, Shell gets destroyed, the Sacrifice gets destroyed instead, and when Sacrifice goes, you get to search a Qliphort. Really, really solid equip spell. I actually forgot it existed for a while. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and shuffle back the Helix. And Sacrifice is going to trigger to search. He's going to go ahead and add Scout. He's like, hopefully this will resolve, but at this point, I just doubt it matters. That is going to be game. Game 2, this is a best out of 5 because ARGs did do best out of 5, which I think was like really nice for finals because that like prevents those like quick 2-0 blowouts. Those happen sometimes. And that's sometimes just like bad RNG. Like you could deck build all you want, get really unlucky and you brick games 1 and 2, right? Or your opponent just had that one card, had the stones. Like if he opens Fire Lake every game, like it's not going to be too fun for Josh if that happens. I want to see a pendulum summon. I want to see him pendulum summon. I won't get my fix of Qliphorts until I see that. And speaking of ARGs and Burning Abyss and Qliphort, the one final ARG rally was Pat versus somebody else. And it's like a 2-hour match. It's a really, really good match. I want to cover it in the series. But it's a really long video. Even if I speed it up 2 times in YouTube's player, it's going to take like an hour. If you guys want to see that one, let me know down in the comments. If you guys have any other suggestions for the series, feel free. Drop them down in the comments. If you guys have a link to those videos you want me to go over, that would also be really, really great. Very, very helpful. I appreciate it in advance. But yeah, this happened December 6th through the 7th. The little dates on the mat there. So yeah, and when was this uploaded? This was uploaded on December 25th. Okay. On Christmas 2014. Which I actually think I got a box of new challenges for Christmas because I really wanted to pull Virgil and Qliphort cards. And I don't think I pulled either. I don't think I pulled that very, very good at all. I did pull some Fire Lakes, though. I remember that much. And I think one of the secret rares I pulled was the Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon, because I know that came out in the set. I might have gotten as an alti. I can't remember because that's back when they still did altis and core sets. Oh, memories. They come flooding back. But it looks like Based Loli himself is going to get to go first here, opening up Fairy Wind, Seer, Karma Cut, Calcab, and one of the BA that I can't quite see in the 480 resolution. Looks like it's Rubik. So we'll spec Rubik out. He'll normal summon Skarm. Synchro 6 here into Virgil. And I can get why he's doing this. I'm going to pause here for a second. Because, like, yes, you could go into Dante and hope that you hit a Seer or a Graph. And then you need to burn another Extender in hand to get to another Dante. But at that point, what are you really trying to mill that's going to put you that much farther ahead in the game? And I think the fact that he's already opened up a Seer or already opened up a Skarm that he could normal summon to trigger the end phase effect doesn't really need to go into multiple Dantes. Like, there's no, like, use for it, especially if he doesn't have Fire Lake, which we know he doesn't. He has Karma Cut and Fairy Wind. He doesn't really need to go for it in that aspect. And also, if Virgil hits the grave, he gets to draw a card too. And not to mention, if the Virgil sticks around, it can help force out back row, whereas the Dante might not be able to do that. So end phase, we're going to see the Skarm go ahead and search the one and only TGU. I think is at 1 currently. Or no, TGU's at 3 right now, 100%. Bring up Virgil again. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We're going to see him activate Scout. This is not going to resolve. We know that's going to get hit with Karma Cut. No, wait. Karma Cut's monsters. So it is going to resolve. I think this is going to be the first time. No, he has Fairy Wind. Is he going to Fairy Wind? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe he is. No, he is going to Fairy Wind. You Fairy Wind. Yeah, let him pay 8. Get rid of that. Keep him. Like, at that point, you put him on having 2 more scales, plus a card to Pendulum Summon on top of that, which odds are pretty low. So, like, Scout is just never resolving. You know, I think Qliphort Scout is like one of the coolest pendulum monsters ever printed. And he has another one. He's so good. Pay 8. Feel great. Once the original, I don't know if it's the original pay 8. Somebody's gonna be like, actually, the original pay 8 was in the Edison format. No. But for me, this is the original pay 8. I wish Qliphort would be like a deck again. It'd be super cool to see this deck come back in some way, shape, or form. This is like the first ever meta pendulum deck. And like, it's not doing anything at all, and it's at full power. The only thing it's missing are its floodgates. Skill drain is at 1, unfortunately. But you can play Recreates. I think that's like the in-theme skill drain, but I digress. He's gonna play, and he does have the scales he needed. Like, he put him on having those cards, and he had it. He's going to play Odd Eyes. He's going to Pendulum Summon for Disc and for a Carrier. And he's going to Karma Cut the other. And he's just going to go ahead and set a card and pass. No end phase Odd Eyes. There might be a technical reason as to why he can't do that. We're going to see him normal summon Tour Guide here, as he discarded a Seer for the Karma Cut. That brought back the Skarm. Now he's normal summoning the Tour Guide. That's going to force Skarm to self-destruct. Tour Guide bringing out Graph. We're probably going to see a Dante, the Traveler itself, joined by his brethren, the Rockstar. Or he could get real creative and go for an Acid Golem, which I don't think that's something you want to do here. I mean, if he has Skill Drain, you definitely want to go for it, because you get a free 3k body at no consequence. But, you know, Dante's also good. Going to see him detach the Seer, milling 3, Creature Swap, Mystical Space Typhoon, Graph. And for those wondering, like, why is Creature Swap in his deck? I think it was in his deck game 1, too. So, and a lot of you guys probably already know the answer, but Towers had just come out, and it was almost invincible. So you could actually play a card like Creature Swap, because that did not affect Towers. It was a card that affected the players to make an action. So therefore, you would get control of the towers, and you just give them something like a Burning Abyss, and then it would just die if they put something on the field. And if I go ahead and pull up towers just to read really quickly here, it says, if this card is normal summon set, is unaffected by spell trap effects and by activate effects from any monsters whose original level/rank is lower than this card's current level. And then all special summon monsters lose 500 attack and defense. Then once per turn, you can make your opponent send one monster from their hand or side of the field to the graveyard. Their choice. So like creature swap would get around that unaffected clause, because creature swap does not affect the actual monster itself. Now we're going to see him make Downard. He's going to get the end phase search of Tour Guide. Downard is there for a reason. Scout, stealth, like, not scout, but stealth could like bounce a card. And you didn't want him to like bounce the Dante back, because then it wouldn't get its effect. So putting a Downer Magician over top of it, not to make Zeus, but putting Downer Magician over top to ensure that when the Downard got bounced, that would go back to the extra deck, which you didn't care about, but the Dante would still hit the graveyard, because it's not the thing being bounced. The thing underneath it is still in the grave. Thing above Dante is going to back to the extra deck. If that makes any sense. We're going to see him pay 500 or 800 here, bring him down to 500 life points. It is now or never for Josh. If he can take a game here, he's going to Pendulum 3, and he's going to summon out the Shell for a normal summon, and he's going to trigger his other effects. He's going to spin back the Virgil with one of the monsters that he tributes, and then he's going to use the Shell to swing in, I believe at 28. Yeah, Shell's at 28. And he'll get over that. And I believe it does piercing damage as well. Yeah, inflicts piercing battle damage. And then he's going to go ahead and add back off of Dante. Going to grab Seer. And I think Shell can Shell not attack twice? Oh, yeah, it can attack twice. So we can attack twice at 2800, which is pretty nice. And then we're going to see Odd Eyes activate in the end phase. Helix says if this card is tributed... what happens if this card is tributed? Yeah, Helix gets to pop a spell trap, and then Carrier gets to target a monster in the field, return to the hand. So yeah, that's what happened to the Virgil. Prevented him from drawing an additional card. So he's just relying on these monsters to wall up. Scout's got 2800 defense, and Helix has 2800 attack. Without access to... He's got Alucard. Alucard's going to come in very, very clutch here. He's got his life points more so as a resource than Josh does. It's a set Summoner's Art, so basically a bluff right there. And that was basically to help search out cards like Scout, because you could add a level 5 or higher normal monster. And we're going to see what he's going to go for right now. Probably, yep, go for Nightmare Shark. And the video actually just ends as soon as he puts the Nightmare Shark on board, which I think is kind of funny. It ends that abruptly. But yeah, there's really nothing he can do about that. The best thing he can hope for is a skill drain, and Alucard did his job at trying to force out whatever that back row was so he can know how to navigate his plays from there on out. So, Based Loli taking it 3-0 in a clean sweep. Very, very enjoyable feature match to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it with me. F's in the chat for my boy Josh. Qliphort really just didn't stand a chance against the Burning Abyss deck whatsoever. I mean, granted, he did not get a disc resolved on him, or a stealth, or a towers. But still, Fire Lake is absurd in this particular matchup. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. As always, we'll see you guys in the next one. Lastly, a massive shout out goes to our Divine level channel members, and they are Cadillacs84, Pony Start, Keith Sidgers, Tweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much for your extremely generous support.